Welcome to our podcast on ancient myths. Today, we will tell you one of the most famous Greek stories, the myth of Pandora's box. It's a tale about curiosity, mistakes, and hope. In Greek mythology, the gods were powerful beings who lived on Mount Olympus, ruling over different aspects of the world and human life. At the top of this divine hierarchy was Zeus, the king of the gods, who controlled the sky, thunder, and justice. Alongside him were other Olympians, such as Hera, the goddess of marriage and family, Poseidon, god of the sea, Athena, goddess of wisdom and strategy, and Apollo, god of the sun and earth. These gods were not only immortal, but also deeply involved in human affairs, often rewarding or punishing mortals based on their actions. Now, let's get started with the story. It was in this divine world that Prometheus, a clever titan, acted differently. Unlike the other gods, he cared deeply for humans and sought him to give him knowledge and power, even if it meant defying Zeus. This set the stage for one of the most famous myths in Greek tradition, the theft of fire and the consequence that followed. According to Greek mythology, after Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans, Zeus became furious. He wanted to punish mankind. Zeus also gave Pandora a jar. Today we say Pandora's box, but originally it was a jar called a Pyros. She opened the jar, and out came all the devils of the world: sickness, pain, greed, jealousy, war, and death. These flew into the air and spread across the earth. When Pandora looked inside the jar again, she saw something small and shining still trapped at the bottom. This myth isn't just about a woman opening a jar, it's about human nature. Curiosity can be dangerous, but it's also what makes us learn and grow. So, the myth of Pandora's box is more than just a story. It's a way the Greeks made sense of life difficulties.
This myth explains why humans suffer, but also why we never lose hope. To do that, Zeus ordered Hephaestus, the god of craftsmen, to create the first woman out of clay. The gods gave her many gifts: beauty from Aphrodite, music from Apollo, and cleverness from Hermes. Her name was Pandora, which means all gifted. The jar was sealed. Zeus told her to never open it, but he knew that her curiosity would eventually win. Pandora was terrified. She tried to close the jar quickly, but it was too late. Almost everything had escaped. That last thing was hope. It stayed inside, and Pandora managed to keep it there. The story also shows how the Greeks explained the origin of human problems. For them, suffering was not random. It was caused by divine punishment and human choices. It shows us that myths were not only entertaining, they were also teaching tools about values, choices, and consequences.
So, let's go back to the very beginning of the world, when gods and humans were still learning their place. But not all gifts are good. Along with her beauty and talents, the gods gave her something dangerous: curiosity. For a while, Pandora resisted, but every day she wondered, what's inside? Why can't I look? Finally, one day, she gave in. Almost everything except one thing. And that's why, according to the myth, even though the world is full of suffering and evil, humans still hold on the hope. And yet, even in the middle of pain, the myth reminds us of the one thing we must never lose: hope. And even today, thousands of years later, when we say someone opened Pandora's box, we mean that a small action caused big, unexpected problems.
In the end, Pandora's box reminds us that even when life feels full of problems, we are never left completely in the dark. The Greeks believed that hope is always there, waiting for us. And I think that's a message we can still carry with us today. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and see you in the next episode.